People program computers for all kinds of reasons. They may be looking to find the solution to a particular mathematical problem, or to keep track of basic business transactions. They may be looking to create a web page, or to have the computer recognize human speech, or play chess. And these different types of problems may require different sorts of languages to write the programs that they are looking to create. The first computers built in the United States were trying to calculate missile trajectories, so they could create trajectory tables that could be used in aiming large artillery. They knew how far away the target was and in which direction they needed to fire, as well as wind speed and direction. They would look it up in a book containing these tables, and they could aim the gun or cannon in the direction and at the right angle because they knew that the calculations had been done before and were tested. For this reason, it is not surprising that numerical programming was one of the earliest tasks to be carried out in a high-level programming language, with Grace Murray Hopper creating A0 and John Backus creating speed coding. The earlier languages did not lead to programs that could run as quickly as those handwritten in lower-level languages. But Fortran was a different story. The language was designed so that it could be translated quickly, and they were able to have it create an efficient translation using a process called optimization, which looked to remove inefficiencies that appeared in the translated versions of the programs. This made Fortran the first commercially successful higher-level programming language. This success led to newer versions of Fortran that led to programs that were easier to read and write, as well as other programming languages. The first computer sold by the first computer company, the Eckerd-Mauchly Computer Company, later bought by Remington Rand, was the UNIVAC, and it was used to tally the 1950 census. The machine was completed too late to do that, although it did complete the 1960 census and successfully predict the 1952 election. This was the first of many business applications for computers. Grace Murray Hopper and colleagues developed Flowmatic, which inspired the COBOL language, whose standard was revised in 1961, 1962, 1968, 1974, and 1984. More lines of source code have been written in COBOL than in any other programming language. Artificial intelligence has typically been considered the science of getting computers to do things that computers are not expected to be able to do. But what this means has changed over the years. A lot of early problems dealt with symbol manipulation and later with game playing and theorem proving. But there have been other applications, such as planning a route based on a map or understanding human speech. Unlike numerical application, arrays and matrices are not the primary data structure, nor is the record. It's the list, leading to the development of other languages such as Lisp. The first such language was IPL, which was developed by the Rand Corporation, but its low-level design limited its usefulness. John McCarthy's Lisp was recursive, used the functional paradigm, where everything was considered a function definition and made use of lists. This proved very popular and led to development of other languages, such as Scheme. Yingvi's Comit led to Snowball and other string processing languages. Prolog was based on predicate calculus. Although it was really designed for natural language processing, it proved to be very useful in creating expert systems, programs that seek to emulate human expertise. For a long time, operating systems were written almost exclusively in assembly language. Because operating systems and other system software need to interact as directly as possible with the computer's hardware, it required the ability to manipulate data structures that were more complex than early programming languages allowed. And they had to be able to communicate with various device controllers, usually by setting the contents of the controller's registers. BCPL was developed as a response to CPL, an early multipurpose programming language developed at Cambridge, and it allowed for the manipulation of memory in a way that operating systems needed. This led to the creation of B and then C, in which the Unix operating system was written. And, of course, this gave way to C++. There have been other languages used for writing system software, and they all have been able to support the necessary data structures. Web design requires several features that are not usually found in a single language. Each of these have its own special purpose. Hypertext Markup Language, or HTML, allows the user to annotate a document so it can be displayed on a web page in a particular way. Scripting languages allow the programmer to write small programs, or scripts, that perform somewhat specialized tasks, yet still include basic control structures. There are even more general-purpose languages, such as Java, that allow the programmer to handle a larger range of tasks, many of which will find their way onto a web page.